Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope you're doing so well. I haven't taken a video for a couple weeks and I have a tan now. Thank God. Thank the goddess for the beauty of the sun providing beauty to me. I love it. And today I kind of want to merge the things that I've been talking about lately, because as you may have noticed, like I do still pump out the Gnostic content, especially on Twitter. So if you really love that, then definitely follow me on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. I will link that down below. Join the Gnostic Goddess Grove, because we are in there. Whenever I see anything that is like remotely Sophianic, remotely goddess, earth goddess, all of it, I just throw it in there because I love to see it and I love to spread that vibe to as many people as possible. But I've also lately, you may have noticed, I've been focusing on my love content as well, because my very first video is a video of my manifestation relationship success story, where I share about how I manifested my boyfriend at the time, who is now my fiance. And I just want to bring that together. If you haven't picked up my book yet, Guidebook to the Goddess Who Became the World, pick it up, because she is the reason for all seasons. She is the reason why we are here. She's the reason why we have life. And it's very important to not only know where we are in the galaxy, but who our planet is. Our planet is the goddess. So when we connect deeply into nature, we are directly plugging into the divinity that created us. Okay, so it's very, very important. And the reason why love and relationships and Sophianic Gnosticism, let's call it, go together, is because being in a relationship with another person / expanding and opening up your own sexuality, especially as a woman, creates the space that's needed for Sophia, for Gaia Sophia, to really introduce herself to you, and in a way that you recognize her as well. That's why I'll read my little, I'm not just waving it around for no reason. I'm going to read the book dedication that I made, because really it was just one of those sentences that just came through so clearly. And I was like, yep. This book is dedicated to Ruben, my fiance, Ruben, whose love for me created the space I needed to remember the goddess. It is also dedicated to the goddess and all who know and love her. So what I mean by that is being in a relationship where, especially where we have a, not to toot my own horn, but we have a healthy sex life. It creates a bubble of energy where you can receive more. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be in a relationship to receive more, but what I'm saying is, if you're wanting to reach the fullness of the experience here on this experiment Earth, whatever you want to call it, being in relationship with somebody, with anybody. I mean, sorry, not anybody, but I mean like romantic relationships, friendships, otherwise, these all create pockets, bubbles of energy for more to come through. This is also what Neville Goddard referred to. I believe it was Neville Goddard. Maybe it was Napoleon Hill. I always get those two guys mixed up. It's what they refer to as masterminds, of more than one mind coming together to focus on one thing and then expand it and manifest from that perspective. So when we are in a pure, loving relationship with somebody, we can step into the fullness of ourselves. So I'll just share a little bit about my experience. Before I met Ruben, my fiance, I really had no relationship with Sophia, the Aunt Sophia, whatever you want to call her, however you want to pronounce it. I had a very strong relationship with Gaia. Okay, so that was my groundwork, and that is why I always recommend to everybody who's looking literally for anything in life, start with nature, start with Gaia. She is going to give you everything that you need, and it's going to be from a really grounded and healthy perspective. Okay. So, I was consciously connecting to Gaia about a year before we met. And, before that I was working on law of attraction stuff, and it was law of attraction was my gateway kind of into, this whole world. And once I got connecting to Gaia, it was like, okay, I really need to literally start from the ground up. Like, Gaia is the ground. We're going to start with the root chakra. We're going to start with safety. We're going to start with connection. We're going to start with grounding. And so that's what I did with her for the year. I undertook, I received Reiki. I went on a very deep spiritual journey. I did a lot of praying, and it wasn't until, probably about 9 months into that process of healing, of going to Reiki and allowing my feelings to be processed in a way that was perhaps a little bit quicker if I wasn't going to Reiki and receiving the energy clearing. And, because when you have emotional stuff that comes up, or if you've been through any sort of literally any emotional trauma or anything at all, it still sits in your energetic field. And this is why I practice Reiki now. If you're interested in a session with me, I do have that available via distance on my Etsy shop, or you can send me an email. We can work out something by PayPal, or I could take crypto. And it wasn't until I really allowed myself to go there with my Reiki practitioner and let her move the stuff that I couldn't see, that maybe I wasn't willing to look at. And it's not necessarily like, okay, somebody's going to give you an energetic healing session, let's call it Reiki, whatever. And it's just going to be like, boom, like you're done, you're healed, everything's fine, and they don't talk to you after. I don't think that's a good Reiki practitioner. A good Reiki practitioner is going to go in there. And for me, at least, I take notes. Like, now that I've been doing it for several years, I don't really take so many notes while I'm in the session, but I might, because if something comes up and you need to know, like, you need to know, I'm going to move it and clear it for you, but stuff comes up and it's helpful for you to know. It helps move you forward when you know. And, for example, in my own situation, I had a lot of sacral chakra stuff from leaving my past relationship. And it was stuff that I had thought I had removed on my own, but it was, there was some extra stuff in there that my practitioner was just like, okay, we're going to move this. This is what it is. It's cleared now, but you might want to look into, doing more sacral work or doing more acceptance work, or, these sorts of things. That's what a Reiki practitioner tells you, like a solid Reiki practitioner. I believe that doing that work is what allowed me to find my relationship relatively quickly after my breakup. It was about a year turnaround, let's say. And considering the emotional turmoil from the first one, I would say pretty good, pretty good turnaround. Taking a year to really work on things within myself so that when I did find this relationship, I wouldn't, explode it. And I wouldn't explode it in the same way that I did my last one. Obviously my ex is not the same as my fiance, of course. I left my ex for a reason, but, I wasn't perfect either, so I really wanted to make sure that sort of stuff wasn't going to come up. Okay. And then, I get into the relationship. Everything's going very well, great. And, we're having an amazing time together. We still do. And I do truly believe that his love for me, for who I am, for my body, for, what we do together, our relationship, all of these wonderful things that we enjoy together about each other, had really put the spotlight on how shitty I was still being to myself, with self-criticism, with still maybe my disordered eating wasn't fully gone, which I don't know if it ever completely truly is. If you lose that little voice, let me know. But I was really hating my body still in that first, year or two in the relationship. And, nothing to do with Ruben, absolutely nothing at all. This was all inside my own head. And it wasn't until I had this shift, I had this internal voice tell me that, I'm being loved so deeply. Why can't I love my body in the same way that my fiance does? Why can't, boyfriend at the time, why can't I love my body in the same way that I'm being loved? And it was as soon as I made that shift that I found Sophia. It was like, it literally, that was the moment. I remember it. It was in the shower, my dear friend, Lady D, whose birthday is today. Holla, July 22nd. It's already 22nd in Australia. I don't know if I'm going to post this before that, but anyways, shout out. And also shout out to my amazing publisher, Gracie, who I was talking to, of Ninth House. She's incredible. Check out the stuff. We also do a free magazine together. And, well, she does it. I edit it. She's a freaking powerhouse. But anyways, I was talking to her today as well, to Gracie, and just about relationships and Gnosis, essentially. Like it really is a crux. It really is this like focal point. And okay, so the experience, I was in the shower and the reason why I brought up Lady D is because she was tweeting about this today too. And, I got sidetracked because I love my girlies. I just love them. And I remember the day because I had just given up the fight. I was just like, okay, like, fine. Like, I will stop hating my body. Like, let's see what happens. And then I took a shower. And I might have been stoned. And I remember, like, love your body, love your body, love your body. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to be soft with myself. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best attempt to love my body. And then I was just kind of like, you know what? My body has carried me this far. It's incredible. It's beautiful. It's, I can do so many wonderful things with my body. I'm very healthy. I really, I just love myself, and I just kind of poured into that. And while I was in the shower, I had this visual, and this is how I awaken Sophia and other people, is this same visual, was a cobalt blue, like the water bottle I always drink out of, cobalt blue for the third eye, phoenix coming out of my forehead. Like, it was very fast. I just saw it like a poof, and then it was over for me. I was like, I have to know about her. I have to know about Sophia. I need to know, like, and that's how relationship develops with Sophia. Is you'll might get like these little semblances, these little like nudges in a certain direction, and then when you go in that direction, it's like, you're like, okay, well, who the fuck is Sophia? Like, what does she want me to know? Who is she? How can I call her up and, see what's going on, right? And so that's why now, what is it now? That would have been 2021. So now, 4 years later, I've published a little book, a guidebook to her, so that more people can access her very easily. This is it's a guidebook. It's very small, and it's meant to be a compliment to Mr. John Lamb Lash's Not in His Image, which is a wonderful book. I love that book. It changed my life. I owe Mr. John Lamb Lash a lot. And, but it's the kind of book that I like. Super thick, super academic. It's like a textbook. But sometimes when I'm talking to people, I was like, I really want to recommend you something quick and easy just to get to know Sophia. And then, when you want to dive deep, when you want to get into everything, go get his book, buy them together, right? Like this is the gateway. And then Mr. John Lamb Lash is going to take you all the way. Right. So that relationship and really love, honestly, like, for me, it was love of my body. And it wasn't until I was in a relationship where I was deeply loved and cherished where I went, maybe I could love this thing. Maybe I could love my body, right? Like, and it's still something that sometimes I struggle with. Like, I don't know. You're probably looking at me and be like, what the hell is your problem? And I don't know. What's yours? And it wasn't until I felt so much love in my life, and I really did expand that frequency. And that's what I talk about with my love manifestation, which I have a free little course link below. I'm also building out a course that's not going to be free. It's taking me some time, but I'm getting it up. It's in my app, which is crazy that I have an app. But I love it. The free course is in the app. There's also other free stuff. I'll probably put this video in there too. But once the course is up and available, it'll be there as well. Because the whole point, in my opinion, is expanding the love frequency, baby. Like, we want to open that up, because not only does it allow for that wonderful romantic partnership that most of us want. I can't speak for everybody, but I know a lot of people want it. It also turns it back in on ourselves and shows us how worthy we are of love by knowing the story of the goddess, by knowing that we humans are the reason why she is here as Earth at all, is incredibly liberating and incredibly beautiful. Like, I really, there's so many beautiful parts about this story. And once you understand it and you get to know it, it becomes alive. It becomes alive in your life. You become an active player in the dreaming mind of our planet Earth. If that sounds like so wackadoodle crazy, but you like it, buy my book. I also have a digital version that, you could access instantly. I will link all of that below, of course. But by expanding the love frequency with a partner, with yourself, just in general in your life, we are further expanding the capacity to hold Sophia at all, the capacity to really know and understand what true divinity is, what true Gnosis is. We have to we have to expand the frequency of love, essentially. That, you can have one gateway as Gaia, and she's gonna expand the frequency of love with you first. That's just what she's gonna do, because Earth is an anagram for heart. So, and she is green. That's how I visualize her. You can visualize her however you want, but I always see her as predominantly green, blue, brown. But I get my most special activations, I would say, with her and with my clients are in the heart. And she offers so many beautiful heart activations that really recalibrate what's going on right here. And she opens it up and she just lets you know that she loves you. And she loves you as a mother loves you, okay? And there is no difference between Gaia and Sophia. If you read my book, you'll find out that Sophia, the Aeon Sophia, when she fell from the Pleroma, the fallen goddess, comet Venus, she became planet Earth. And she became planet Earth alongside the human female genome, which is why women share such a special connection to Earth. And, it's not to say at all that men are not important. Of course they are. I love my man. I love men. But they serve a different role than Earth Mother. They are, Earth Protector, Earth Shaman, all of these cool, wonderful, magical things that aren't necessarily Earth Goddess, but they are here to protect her. They are here to honor her. They are here to express and honor and, be in amazement of women's magic, of the magic of Earth. And that frequency of love, that gnosis and love axis, that connection, you know, really bridging them and bringing them together is also what allows Sophia to reach us and help us turn on more of our own capabilities. This is really the goal here, is we want to open up the frequency of love. We want you to know where you are on this planet Earth, and then we want you to know who planet Earth is. Sophia's gonna teach you, mama teach. And from there, when you know her, when you know where you are, when you have love for the body that she gave you, that she designed to experience this wonderful life with, you get fucking superpowers. Your inner vision becomes clearer. Your clair senses turn the fuck up, and you can really become so interactive within the world dream, within the dreaming mind of Gaia Sophia, that like at some points you kind of go, whoop, like that's so real, like that's so fucking real right now. And that's exactly what we're meant to do. We are meant to create beautiful things. We are meant to love people dearly, you know. And I'm not at all love and light girly, like trust me, I'm not. But love of the self, love in general, opening up that love frequency is opening up to gratitude. And if you have practiced any sort of magic at all, by having that feeling of love, of gratitude, of thankfulness, you can see real beautiful magic happen when you're operating on that frequency. When, you know, on the opposite, if you're operating on the frequency of, you know, fear and paranoia, you're not going to be met with things that really have your best interest in mind. So when you're operating on the level of love, of gratitude, of openness, of peace, of harmony, that is the frequency where Sophia also sits. And it's not that she can't reach you anywhere else. She has all these expressions that can dive down and reach you, but her truest expression is beauty. Her truest expression is harmony, is that love between people and that love of the body that she's given us. So when we love this vessel, when we love the people that are in our lives, you know, to the furthest extent that we can, I know no relationships are perfect, but when we can really tap into that, that's like the signal on the plane of being like, hey, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to step into more. Show me how beautiful it gets. You know, if instead you're like how I was, hating my body, hating this vessel of expression that I was given to experience all these beautiful things, then she's like knocking on the door and I'm busy like, you know, twiddling my thumbs, like looking at my body and how I hate it. You know, I'm not looking up and seeing what's standing right in front of me, wanting to take me to that next level, wanting to show me just how beautiful life can get, wanting to show me how much magic I can experience, how much interactiveness I can experience, how much I can play within the dream, and how much I can help other people. Because the amount of crazy synchronicities that I've experienced when I'm giving Reiki to somebody or in a similar session like that, you can't beat it. You really cannot beat it. That feeling of, you know, me thinking that I'm just saying something that's like not going to make sense, or, you know, because it doesn't really mean anything to me, but it's just coming through. And then that the person that is receiving it is like, whoa, girl, like you just blew my mind, or you helped me shift this way, or whatever, what have you. And this happens in the dreamland without any conscious effort. So I do believe that the more that we not only tap into the world dream, which is the dreaming mind of Gaia Sophia, who loves us very dearly as our mother, that when we do that, we can kind of go about our daily life and really just respond to what's in front of us, because we are doing so much in the astral realms. Like, you would be shooketh. I don't know how many times somebody has come to me and said, you give me a Reiki session in my dream, or you relieved this from me in my dream. And I'm like, I have no recollection. I'm like, great. I'm like, I'm happy for you. You know, did anything else happen? Like, tell me, spill the beans, spill the tea. I want to know. And I just think that that is the most beautiful confirmation of this sort of magic, this sort of interactive magic between us as humans, between us as the children of Gaia Sophia, and as her beautiful designer species, humans of light that are here to create more beauty. And beauty, yes, can just be aesthetics, of course, but you can be beautiful in how you treat other people, and you can be beautiful in how you treat yourself. And the more beautiful and caring, really, you are to other people and to yourself, the more your beauty just becomes more apparent, the more, literally, the more beautiful that you get. Like, you glow more when you fall into this story yourself, when you really place yourself in it. So if any of this is exciting anybody at all, I really, really do recommend the guidebook to the goddess, of course, who became the world. She's just so beautiful. And she really, like, this guidebook is so short because it introduces you to her and she just takes over. Like, I don't really have to do anything. Like, I just let you know who she is, where she is, and what your relationship to her is within, Earth, as her designer species that she made with her male counterpart. All of these beautiful, wonderful mystery teachings are all in here. And then once you know her, like, she just takes over. Like, the synchronicity, I'm not involved, right? Like, that's all for you to experience the most beautiful thing that there really is, and obviously, there's beauty between people, of course, but a big part of the beauty is allowing for synchronicity, allowing for more magic to happen. And Sophia is the one that's feeding it to us. She is the one that's dreaming us alive in every single moment. And when we can tap into that, she turns up the volume. She really does go. She's like, how much beauty can you handle? That's from JLL. I love that. That's one of the like, his little isms, I guess, that bounces around in my head a lot. I believe he says it's from the Dakinis. And yeah, it really, that is the crux of it, is how much beauty can you handle? And it's about, we get to a certain level and we think this is it. And then we're met with certain personal challenges. And then, we get to that next level of beauty and we experience even more. I cannot even describe the wonderful things that I've experienced. And one of them is, my inner sight is becoming a lot more clearer, and it kind of scared me at first. I do my meditations in the center of planet Earth, and how I describe it to people is like an active dream. And lately, now that I've been focused on I want to say rehashing, but like refreshing my energy field and taking energy that's mine and moving it through my field. I have a recent video about that if you're interested in that. I did a whole guided meditation on that. But the more that I've done that, the more clear my inner sight gets. And I went down to the center of the earth just like I normally do. And like, it was so vivid. As I was going down, I was like, holy shit, like, this is happening, And that is the true imagination of the alchemists, is using more of your own energy, loving the vessel that you have to turn everything into gold. And, a big part of that is going into Gaia's golden core. And, the alchemists did that too. Everything that they did was in the center of the earth, and, visit the interior, vitriol, whatever the rest of it is. But the first part is visit the interior of the earth and you'll be renewed. I think something like that. Whatever. You can fact check me. That's fine. And but yeah, the alchemists of old, they knew this too. They knew that you had to find the golden secret, the golden core, the golden Gaia, to produce the organic white light of Sophia, the primary substance body of the Aeon Sophia. Now, if that white organic light primary substance body is something that you're just like, yes, I need to know more, John Lamb Lash. Dive in, go for it. You are going to love it. So all that to say, just keep being beautiful, keep loving each other. And if you don't know where to start at all, if you're like absolutely in the throes of like self-hate or, you know, jealousy and just all these icky feelings, then spend time in nature. Just trust me, just do it. Spend some time with the trees. Gaia is everywhere, but there she can access us so easily, just, you know, by science of literally calming the body down. And, you know, you might even experience a spontaneous heart activation. And then from there, I would recommend opening up the love frequency, working on your chakra systems, and enjoy the ride, baby. Enjoy the ride. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah.